As I was watching this scene, I kept seeing myself, and it wasn't flattering.
What's on your mind?
Nothing. It's doing something. Well, especially like the sexual stuff. It's like I do understand like your concern there, and I think they're valid. But it's also at the same time like I'm clearly sick, have a severe vitamin D deficiency, and the PMS, and like just the fact that I'm like going back and forth from Baltimore. I feel like shit today. Yeah, I just like assumed like if you're sick, like I wish I didn't have to explain why.
This part of the experiment was like really important for me because it's where we like make sure that we actually do have the physical intimacy, that the affection and everything that like I desire in a marriage, especially something as big as like physical intimacy. Like I just want to make sure that that's right, you know.
And it's not right.
Starting in Cabo, it was great, and then like now obviously we're dealing with a lot, and so like sometimes you just like don't want to be touched or you don't want to be, which is again fine.
I feel like I've been very affectionate with you. There's been like just maybe 3 times where I'm like, lay off on petting me or whatever. Like.
Pop my trunk, let the doors up. Pop my trunk, let the pop.
Love is Blind Season 7, Episode 10. Let's get into it. Humans don't take the time or energy it takes to become an expert on a thing unless there's motivation behind it. What that motivation is exactly is down to the individual. We can be motivated by love, curiosity, fear, a sense of purpose or destiny, lust, vanity, or good old-fashioned greed. It really just depends on the day. But in an ecosystem built off of diversity, it is our core commonalities that bind us together. We're humans. And humans are some selfish motherfuckers. That being said, since we're all obsessed with self to some extent, mainly for survival, the one thing we are all expert on is our own experience, our own perception, our views on things. I recognize Pharaoh's selfish entitlement in this scene because I've lived it. I've been that way, almost feeling as if my need for physical affection supersedes all other factors. Now he takes it a step further with his condom protest. Of course pizza tastes better with Parmesan, but if I don't have Parmesan, nigga, I'm still gonna eat the pizza. Now Pharaoh's tripping because regarding the subject of sex or physical affection, he's treating her more like a possession than a person. He may need to examine his relationship with sex, because anything you abuse becomes poison. If you drink too much water at once, it'll kill you. Physical intimacy is great, but when you start to prioritize it over the person you experience it with, it kills the relationship.
You know I'm not physically affectionate. Do not touch me. That's just how I am, but that's something that she wants all the time. But if we just got in an argument, I'm not going to want to cuddle.
I don't know exactly what we're talking about, but when you are in a relationship, a marriage, you kind of have to like be open to what hurts your partner.
Tim is burying the lead here. She lives in a horde. You can't marry this woman.
What you crying about?
I had a very close friend. Her and her wife wanted to have a baby, and they couldn't afford sperm donor. I thought that was God telling me, help someone else, and it felt good.
Do the kids know what you look like?
I don't think so.
Bro, you gotta leave God out of this. I was going to criticize him trying to frame this as some mission from above, but what if it is? I mean, we're talking about human lives that were created here, so there is purpose behind their conception. But that's not the point. Like, you talked about having kids with her, you proposed to her, and never told her that you have kids yourself already. Pictures exist in this world of you and these children, and you just sat here and lied to her, telling her that you don't think they know what you look like? How did you get on this show? What is the purpose of you being here?
I'm wondering if we can do something special for, like, your parents, like especially for your mom.
She will appreciate that thought at the very least. She may not want to be a part of it, but we can at least talk to her about it.
You think she might not come?
Not come? You can't blame it on the cameras. You already had them in your house, you had your grandkids there and everything. Do I smell racism?
Always have to be the first one to start a deep conversation or like initiate sex. I think it's all like about like initiative.
Oh, he's over it. Hey, ladies, if you always having to initiate sex, it's a wrap. And I don't blame him, because if she's not acting like his mom or some asshole boss, now apparently she's acting like his professor.
When we were in the pods and you were talking about how much I read, and you were like, I would love to read. Like, have you read?
I haven't had a chance to.
Okay.
Like when I have free time, maybe last night instead of going to watch the game, I could have read. But,
Yeah, priorities, right?
Bitch, I'm watching the game. Missed the game so I can read a book? Motherfucker, I ain't got no due date. I'm not writing a paper.
Just like yesterday when we were on the phone and I called you again and you were like, I don't want to talk to you because you don't listen. I felt very dismissed. I felt very closed off from you. I was hurt. I started crying because I don't understand what it is. You have to admit it is not the same from when we were in the pods.
As this nigga speaks, just close your eyes and picture Terrence Howard.
After reflecting on what I really want out of life and a wife, I have to be honest with myself that the answer between you and I, for me, is no. There is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And with that in mind...
Now he gotta write her daddy a breakup letter. Garrett lied / omitted information about his ex texting him and his response or lack thereof. My position is his mistake was saying anything at all. If he truly shut it down and shut up about it, like, now it's a thing. You don't need to make something that's not a problem by bringing it up. This whole theory of sharing every little thing that happens, it's not realistic or necessary or healthy. Marissa meets Bodan looking like a 1920s barbershop quartet member, and she's relieved that she picked Pharaoh. And Katie surprisingly likes Short King Nick. Meanwhile, Hannah hates him and is telling the whole world that his sex is trash.
I haven't had sex with a lot of people, but the people that I've had sex with, we've been very sexually explorative. Nick's not like that. It's almost like it's like an 18-year-old sexualness. Like, things gross him out. Like, eating pussy is just like not what he thinks about. He doesn't like to eat pussy. So you like what? Yes. And fixed sex that maybe isn't the best. Like, I really truly love that man. Like, I really do.
That's not love. And I don't want to talk about what she said Nick doesn't do in the bedroom because I wasn't there. And there could be reasons why he doesn't do that with her.
Okay, close your eyes again. And this time picture Mr. Rogers.
You didn't see a future in me. That's totally fine.
Would you be my neighbor ass voice?
I think you lead with your charm and your charisma.
Yeah.
Too hard. I think you're such like a beautiful and a deep person.
Yeah.
Like I would challenge you to lead with that. And I know you are this person that's filled with values. I think you're this person that's filled with a whole heart. Lead with that, right? Like don't lead with like, I know you're so sexy. I think that's a defense mechanism, which is maybe coming from a place of insecurity. But I'm here to tell you, like, you are the whole package. You're fantastic. And I love and I'm proud of the person that you are.
Because he's engaged, this conversation was largely inappropriate, but she was spitting right here. This is how you encourage a person. This is how you nudge a person to grow. You know what I'm saying? By speaking life into them. Not saying you're 28 years old and you should know better with a furrowed brow after telling them to take the trash out for the 20th time that day. The episode ends with Garrett and Taylor's shit, but I'm not buying the drama. I think she'll get over it and they'll be fine. Thanks for watching. Catch you next one. Appreciate y'all.
I came empty-handed, but I'm leaving with 3. Plus I made about a G, cause I made them tip me.